Good morning. Very pleased to welcome Mr. Mehlam Murtaza from UNS Vertical Farms as part of SpeedX Group here in Dubai. Thank you very much for hosting us here. Would you please tell us more about UNS?
Sure. So UNS Farms is a family-run business based in the UAE. We have been growing and producing since 2018. And we grow a whole variety of different leafy vegetables, microgreens, edible flowers, and herbs.
Yeah, vertical farms is something relatively new to the region here. We are seeing that not many companies are sustainable and they have some challenges, they encounter challenges. How can we, your advice being in the as a part of the third generation of a family in Dubai, your recommendation to have more sustainable business in this sector?
So you're right, and unfortunately there are not many success stories in the UAE or in the world actually for vertical farms. And what we often find is the common misconception or the common issue is that people think that they can just invest a lot of money, they can make a big farm, and the sales will come to them, yes, and the plants will grow magically.
Yeah.
This is still at the end of the day an agriculture business. You're growing commodities and you're selling commodities. Mm-hmm. So it's just the kind of mentality people come in mm-hmm. with for vertical farms is more on a, what we find is more on a tech-based approach, that mm-hmm. they're a tech company,
yes,
they'll make quick returns and yes, they'll multiply the
yes,
growth over years and years. But frankly speaking, it's not how it works. You're a farmer, and we also believe ourselves to be farmers first, and then the technology and everything is just something to enhance what we're growing. And what we always believe in is the quality of the product speaks for itself. Yeah. The price of the product is important in the market, especially a place like UAE, which is an open market. So you're competing against the world at the same time.
How are you assessing your product range? How are you identifying your product range?
So what we first look into is what is feasible to grow at scale in mm-hmm. a commercially viable production. Mm-hmm. What is the difficulty of the customer? Mm-hmm. So for example, we are one of the first farms in the UAE to grow salad mixes. Mm-hmm. When we started doing this in 2018, it was previously all coming in from Europe or mm-hmm. from the USA or such places, which you can imagine just the shipping cost alone doubles the cost of the product. Yeah. So we really worked very, very closely with our customers, saw the major pain points, at the same time opportunities, and based on that, we expanded our product range.
In terms of technology, it plays a major role in reducing the cost. So what's your strategy?
So what we look at first is what is best to grow the product. So we grow hydroponically, we also grow in soil, and what we look to do is create the chamber or the growing area which is optimizing the growth of the plant first. Mm-hmm. So in our farm we have 5 growing zones, or you can say 5 farms. So each zone is specialized in growing a certain kind of crop, and all the variables in terms of the climate to the growing and the disease and things is contained in that area. So that's what really optimizes the production.
Who's your partner in this regard?
So we work with a lot of European companies as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of the farm is built in-house as well. Okay. We have an engineering company, construction company. So we're very well versed in building and things as such.
Utilities and power, water and electricity play a major role in your basic cost component.
Definitely.
How are you planning to reduce that?
So recently there has been a new initiative announced by DEWA, or the
Dubai Electricity and Water Authority.
Yes, they have announced a D33 initiative, which is allowing you to utilize 100% of your connected load via solar. So this is something very, very attractive for our company, and definitely something we are pursuing, and we hope to finalize very soon.
Okay. In terms of transportation, how are you optimizing your distribution, and any plan to make green mobility?
So we are actually based in the heart of the city. We're mm-hmm. based in Al Quoz, so we're actually in 20 kilometers of, I would
radius
say,
of
a radius of 90% of our customers. So in terms of connection, we are extremely well connected. In fact, a big majority of our customers actually pick up from the farm. So we have a lot of wholesalers who pick up from the farm because it's just on the way to the customer.
Yeah.
So really, it's very convenient.
Before I jump into my last question, green finance, let's talk about basically your competitiveness in the market.
Sure.
How can you make your product more competitive and reduce the price, basically?
So vertical farming is the same as any other kind of production business module. So what we look to do is, number one, focus on the unit economics. How do we reduce the cost of our overheads, such as the power, such as the labor, such as the raw material expense, and at the same time, what scale do we need to produce in to be competitive with what's already being imported? So we really focus on these two components, and that's how we create our feasibility, so to speak.
Vertical farms in the region especially heavily rely on green financing, while it wasn't your case.
Correct.
Basically, what kind of advice or methodology you have in this regard?
So we come from a family business, and what we really believe in is that before we take outside financing, we need to be sure about what we are doing. So when we began our business, of course, the first few years of a business is not profitable. But in that period was when we created our business model, created a successful business model actually. And really we became experts in our field, and we really understood that what it takes to be successful in the industry and what is a formula for failure. So before we take outside finance, we really believe we need to make sure that if I'm taking money from you, you will get a healthy return on it.
And what is next for UNS, basically, in terms of expansion geographically?
Definitely, we are looking into prospects into expanding into other GCC countries, where we're looking into expanding in vertical farming as well with new crop portfolios, and we're also looking into different methods of agriculture as well.
Thank you very much for being
My
with
pleasure.
us today.